Hello, I'm Steve Hamilton. After almost 40 years as an electronics design engineer, I've recently turned my attention to a different goal: climate change mitigation. My big idea for how to achieve that mitigation is to make public transit in America actually work. And by work, I mean for it to be the preferred choice for a significant minority of commuters. Currently, transit as a viable transportation choice for the mainstream public does not work. For every dollar you spend on a fare, the transit agency loses $2. And despite governments increasing those subsidies by 5% a year for the past 25 years, they've only been able to achieve a market share of 5%. The problem is bad product to market fit. Agencies deploy mass transit technologies to address a market inherently defined by personal transit demand. Mass transit solutions are viable only in the denser city core, while 85% of our urban population is in the suburbs. The transit market demands three things: speed, coverage, and affordability. Buses and trains are large, manually operated vehicles. They're very expensive to own and operate, which kills affordability and also profitability. They're shared by multiple riders and follow fixed routes and schedules, which kills speed. You're not going very fast when you're walking to the transit station, when you're waiting there for the vehicle to arrive, or when it is stopping at every stop along your way. The routes are one-dimensional. My trip is two-dimensional. So that means that most often a vehicle transfer or more is involved, which means more waiting. And trains are so expensive that typically buses are used for most of the coverage in a city. And buses are barely faster than walking. So if I wanted actually a transit system that had better product market fit, I'd essentially reverse all those decisions. What we need are automated, small, exclusively used vehicles that are available on demand to follow a customer-specific two-dimensional route. In short, we need an automated taxi. And most likely you think I'm talking about a self-driving car. Well, I'm not. The solution I offer is something called a personal rapid transit system. Think of the Metro Mover, except that it's only as big as a subcompact car. It has seats, so it can drive faster. A bunch of them are parked empty and waiting for you. When you get in and take off, it can drive right by the stations that you're not going to. And the guideway is actually a two-dimensional network, just like our roads, so that it can take you directly to your destination, where you don't have to park. So it's as fast as a car trip. Because of the guideway, at rush hour, it's faster than a car trip. PRTs are literally an order of magnitude cheaper to deploy than trains. So much greater coverage can be achieved without compromising affordability. And they're 10 to 15 times more fuel efficient than the average car. Now, an early form of PRT has been operating in Morgantown, West Virginia since 1975. It's achieved 140 million passenger miles without so much as a single injury. They're very safe. A newer, smaller form has operated at Heathrow Airport since 2011 and has over 1 million miles. And there's another one at a business park in Abu Dhabi that's got over 2 million. Now, the cheapest form uses metal trusses rather than concrete guideways. And in my personal opinion, these are also aesthetically more pleasing as you look up through the open truss rather than a blocking guideway. But even these are not as cheap as we can make it. And remember, affordable coverage is key. So I've designed a version specifically to optimize for this purpose. It costs the same to deploy as it does to build a 2-lane road. I'd like to deploy it in Miami. Now, the cell phone example shows us what is achievable when you resegment an existing market using clearly preferable technology. 40% penetration in 10 years. That's our goal. America burns about 6% of the world's energy just driving around, mostly in cities. So deploying PRTs is a viable way that we can reduce world energy consumption by a significant amount and relatively quickly, and eliminate the associated greenhouse gas emissions. And we can do this while we're improving people's day-to-day lives by giving them a faster, cheaper, safer, and less stressful commute. Now, our 40% goal will achieve at least 2% reduction in world energy consumption. Thanks for this opportunity to speak.